Hello, everyone. It's us again with Felicia and Jen. We're back, Jen.
We're back.
From
Yay.
spring break. Yay! Jen, we have some extra people with us today. Who are they?
Yes. We have here Tammy.
Hey.
Say hello. We have, oh my God, you're going to make a draw blanket. Put me on the spot. We have Rachel.
Hello, everyone.
We have Heather.
Hi, everyone.
I don't know why all of a sudden I just froze up. I'm like, who are these people?
Like Tammy said, like you don't see us every day.
Who's having it at the stage right? Okay, so today we're talking about gardening. So we want to know what's in your garden. So Felicia and I'm okay with gardening. I'm not the best gardener. So what about you?
Naive.
So yeah, we have an intermediate and someone who thinks
I'm a gardening virgin.
A gardening virgin. So we have a couple of questions. You want to start, Felicia?
All right. So you can just answer at free will. So how did you get started with gardening?
Watching other people garden. When I grew up, where we rented, the landlord, he was an older gentleman, he was kind of like a second grandfather, or however many grandfathers, had a huge garden. And it was just something I always watched him do. My grandfather gardened. Everybody I knew had a garden. And so it's just, hey, why not have a garden?
Came natural to her.
How about you?
So mine's very different. All of a sudden, a tomato plant grew in our ashtray that we had outside. And we were like, oh, that's really weird. So my fiance said, well, maybe we should start a garden. And at first I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But then once I started doing it, I fell in love with it. So now I have a flower garden and a vegetable garden separate. So
Cool. How about you, Heather?
Mine's a little different. So, mine was because, I just tried to grow marijuana at first. I wanted to see what it was going to be like.
Okay.
I didn't want my grandma to know when I was 15, and I thought I had a green thumb. It went sideways, but it started my love for gardening. So that's where I
Hey,
started.
give us some
That's a very
marijuana.
interesting story.
Yeah.
I love it.
very different reasons.
So, Heather, you could choose not to answer this question. What's in your garden right now?
So I have zucchinis, cucumbers, eggplant, tomatoes, Brussels sprouts, marijuana, and chickens.
I was gonna say,
And
so-
chickens. The chickens run around in my garden. They help
Okay,
me.
you're not growing chickens. Okay.
No, not
okay.
growing chickens. Yeah.
So they're growing up.
Even the big ones, I don't stop them from going. They don't eat my stuff and make sure they don't eat it, and I let them scratch up my garden. They actually help
Oh,
it.
they will scratch
They
it.
do. They do.
I need it.
Yes.
I had the chickens that didn't bother my garden, but ate all my neighbor's tomatoes. He was pretty mad.
Well,
That's good for you, I guess, He was selective with his eating.
What's in your garden?
So I have actually 4 different tomato plants in my garden this year. One is really like large tomatoes. Then I have honeybees. Then I have little black cherry ones. Then we have regular cherry tomato ones because I love tomatoes. Apparently. I have sweet peppers, basil, cucumbers, yellow squash.
Oh,
Wow.
And flowers of all different varieties.
Wow.
Well, my husband does not eat tomatoes, so I just have one cherry tomato plant. I have lettuce. I have a couple of bell peppers. I have 2 cucumbers. And I have a whole raised bed. I do raised beds because I have a very small yard of zinnias coming up because I love them. And the butterflies and the birds eat them. So I have a ton of zinnias coming up.
Does anybody can here, or they just eat whatever? Yeah. Okay. Heather's our canner. Yeah. I can too. Gary, the other half has a green thumb, not me. I like gardening for the end result, the pretty flowers and the fruit, the labor behind it. No. So I will help, but it's mainly the other half's project. So we have the same thing: tomatoes, cucumbers, all of this.
I do make refrigerator pickles, but that's like as far as I get with canning. Like, I think canning's a great idea.
Or brining something that's easier,
I just don't have the patience. Like, you have a lot of patience to do that.
Well, I mean, I can for a reason to avoid some of the fillers that they put into some of the foods. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea.
Yeah, when you grow your own food, I feel like you get your results. So.
Yeah.
I open cans. I don't care.
Oh my goodness, that could be another episode.
I open
myself,
them.
Canning 101.
So, because I don't know anything about gardening. So you all mentioned some different stuff. So I'm assuming there's certain soil you have to use. So does the soil determine what you're growing, or can you just use a universal soil?
It's determined by what you're growing.
Yes,
Yeah, that's how I
absolutely.
roll
And it
mine.
also is, it is determined as well about where you are, what area you're in.
We're zone 7, I believe. Although they changed it, so it may be 8. But
Yeah.
you have to know your zone and your frost states and things like that.
Mhm.
But
There's
I
certain
would-
varieties of fruits and vegetables you can grow only in
Right.
certain areas.
Right. And then I wouldn't probably always use just my potting soil. I'd probably use it for my houseplants and things, not necessarily my garden.
There is a difference too between in-ground or gardening and
Raised bed.
Yeah, raised beds and potting soil. They have different nutrients and different things in them. So, like, in-house plants need a lot different nutrients than something that's in your garden outside. So, it is all different.
I use regular dirt. My answer is so different. I use regular dirt. It's just what I add to mine is completely different. I use coffee grounds and eggshells.
Yeah, those are two
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, that helps a
Yeah.
lot.
Me and Sophia make what's called a butter in jars, and that's what we can actually. We actually make this. It's a mixture of eggshells. We grind it into a powder with coffee grounds. We add water, and we slow cook it for about 2 hours, and then we can it, and we just open it up once a month, and we go put it in our garden, and that's what we start ours with. I don't.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
And I
That's crazy.
compost.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
whatever, eggshells, tomatoes, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peelings.
But the tea thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
make a
super
liquid
interesting.
so it soaks into the roots at an early age, and then we just use it once a month. We just actually just did 20.
You might be onto something. Like, you might be, like, coming up with this invention that you could become, like, rich
you
off
can
of or
it and
something.
sell it.
I used to use just the powder, the egg, make a powder in the coffee. And Sophia said in Trinidad, their ground is so tough over there and dry that she just makes this tea, and that's like you called it, and that's what we do. And she showed me.
Well, I
so
know
I
it
was
takes a
like,
while for
hey.
the eggshells to break down, and supposedly the more broken down they are, the better receptive the dirt is to getting everything out.
I get the cheapest dirt. I don't feel like gardening should cost you that much money.
I don't know. Someone else put mine together. I know that sounds dumb, but they did scoops of this and that and compost and organic matter and different things. So mine was put together for me.
Huh.
So deep.
So have you ever
it's-
gone
it's-
through
it's
this whole
interesting.
process of brewing your tea, your coffee grounds and your eggshells and the perfect soil, and then something just not work?
Oh, yeah.
Like, have you ever planted something that just died?
I will
What you
say
did? Yeah.
I'm super irritated last year and this year. My daisies, they're not, and I know daisies don't last long. I think Tammy was the one that told me, like, daisies don't last very long, but irritated. Like, they just die. I can't get them to stay alive. I don't understand. And it's like the most frustrating thing of all time. I don't know what's going on.
I always had good luck with them, but I didn't do anything to them. I just put them in the ground.
You two should get together.
Yeah. You need to
Talk about
teach
the
me how to
daisies.
keep my daisies alive.
I killed my grapes. I don't think it liked coffee. So
Oh.
don't use that on. Don't use it on grapes. I guess I was gonna try to make my own wine. I was feeling festive. I said, I got this. I went outside in my robe and I had my chickens in my pockets. I had a joint in my hand, coffee in the other. I'm like looking at my garden. I'm like, yeah, hell, we're gonna do grapes. We're gonna make our own wine. My husband's like, what? And I'm like, hell, here we go. He's like, really? I don't want to do this. Like, you just had me build a deck. And I'm like, nope, we're gonna do it. And I did it, and it killed it. And I said, oh dang it. Never
Well,
mind.
you tried. You tried.
I wanted grapevine too, but I don't get enough sun. Because I just wanted it for the look. I don't care about the grapes. The birds can eat the grapes. I just wanted the vine, but yeah, I can't.
Temperamental thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what has been your most successful, I'm going to call it harvest. I can think of another word.
Wow. I haven't had a lot because I have a very small yard, so I don't have like a harvest. I'm lucky if I get one or two things. Before, when I had a bigger area, everything. I was like throwing away squash and corn. And stuff.
That was us
But
last year
yeah.
with cucumbers.
Whenever I would
especially.
toss the one thing I like a yellow squash, my dog would bring it back.
They're playing fetch.
This is not working. Yeah. But yeah,
That's so
I haven't.
funny.
Yeah, I haven't had like. I have a bountiful harvest. I
Yeah.
have enough to keep us going.
But it's
that's good.
successful.
Yeah,
either
it's
way.
successful.
Yeah.
So
And it's stress relieving, right? You
yeah,
guys do it
it's
for
so
stress
great.
relieving?
It sends me
Yeah.
right out.
Yeah.
If I'm having like a bad day or And I have to kind of shout out Jimmy with this one. This is the last time you'll hear me say this, but Jimmy was right. It does help. It really does. If you're out there and you're like zenned out and you're focused on it. So it does.
It's the first thing I do every morning is go out and look at my yard and look at my garden and look at what's in bloom. And the last thing at night, almost always.
And it's amazing to see too with that comparison. Like you go to sleep and then you wake up and something's bloomed and sprouted and you're like, oh my gosh, so it's cool to look at it at night and then go back first thing in the morning and see what's come up overnight.
How about you, Heather? What's worked for you?
Brussels sprouts.
Really?
I always seem to have an abundance of Brussels sprouts. If you guys, cool. I don't know what to do with them sometimes.
I'll take
Bring them in.
Bring them in. Bring them in.
And egg.
I mean, I'm not going to eat them, but bring them in.
I've never had luck planting Brussels sprouts. They always I don't know if I plant them too late and it's too hot, but they always end up just phasing out.
That's how cauliflower is for me.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Anything like that, anything cold. Cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage.
Kale I can grow. Like crazy.
I didn't know you were supposed to tie cauliflower off. Like you're supposed to hide the head, the white part from with the leaves and tie it off, and it keeps it white, or else it's going to turn yellow from the sun. I had no idea.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either until I just saw it the other day, and I was like, why am I not being successful at this? And I guess like they really need a lot of room to grow. Okay, they're temperamental. I just throw them away. I can't.
That's
do
interesting.
It.
I didn't know that.
Very interesting.
I didn't know that either. I didn't know about pruning either.
Yeah, that's hard. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Or if you grow a whole bunch of seeds and you have to thin them out. I'm like, no, I like these.
So do you have any partners in crime when it comes to gardening? Do you have somebody in the house that loves to garden with you, or is it just a solo project?
My dog.
Loves to dig alongside.
That's really cool.
Likes to get up in the garden, likes to run through the garden. It's raised beds, or what are you doing in the garden? Yeah, it drives me crazy. I'm like, get out. Yeah.
My husband gets 1,000 ideas for me to do.
He doesn't do it with you?
He's really great at getting the stuff together for me.
Yeah.
And then he gets the wheelbarrow for me. Yeah. Him getting down in the garden,
So
he has mega needs.
So you have assistants.
I have an assistant.
Does Jimmy help you?
Two-legged.
Oh, well, we kind of have a system going. He deals more with the vegetable garden and I deal with the flower garden, although my basil is in his vegetable garden. So I do go over there and do a little bit, but he's been the pro at that vegetable garden since we started and he does a great job. I just like the flowers because like I said, it's a zen, like pretty thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they look so good. They're pretty. So it's easier for me to do the flowers. And I noticed too that there's more like bugs on the vegetable side, obviously, because they're trying to eat it. I'd rather not deal with that.
Yeah.
So I push the dirty work off on him, God bless his soul, but.
Yeah, certain fruit or vegetables get really buggy.
Yeah.
It's gross too.
Yeah.
That's
Not
why I
saying-
don't grow like corn or anything like that because I get those
Worms.
Yeah.
No.
Okra. Have you ever seen the okra worms? The big brown ones when you go to pull them off and they pop and I'm like, ugh.
You see, there's those big green, they call them like tobacco ones.
Yes.
And you're like,
Well, there's tomato worms.
oh yeah, I think those are the
Yeah.
same kind.
I had a yellow lab who would walk through my mom and dad's big garden and she would pick the tomato worms off the plants and eat them.
Nice.
And I was like, good girl. I'll never have another dog like Maggie, but yeah, it was pretty cool. It was
I can't
neat.
stand slugs.
Oh,
I
neither.
touched one
Oh.
time. No.
I used to take them to my lizards. Yes, free food. Give them here. Eat.
Yeah.
Come
They'll
come
eat the slugs?
No, yeah,
Really?
pigs that would eat them, and then the bearded dragon would eat the tomato worm.
Yeah, if you give
Wow.
those to your chickens,
Will
that's
they
a
eat 'em?
yummy meal for them. They love those tomatoes.
Okay, see, I didn't really do chickens in the South because they used to them off, so I didn't want to be a part of that. So like this time, my chicks are just gonna live a happy life wearing sweaters and hats and stuff because I don't do that. So, like, I'm still learning. My chicken garden's still growing.
Aw.
That's awesome.
So a person like me, so someone like me listening, a garden virgin, how, I don't know what I was going to ask next, I cannot ask, it would not be appropriate. But how would I get started?
Grow something you enjoy.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Grow something
What's
you
your
really
favorite
like.
vegetable?
Put on your seatbelt. It's a wild ride. What do you want?
Yeah.
My favorite vegetable. I can eat corn. I like corn.
That's kind of tough.
Okay,
That's
so let's go with.
Second best.
I like spinach.
That's easy.
Why not basil?
Yeah.
Look at my basil plants. They're so easy. They smell
I don't
good.
put
Green
basil on
beans?
everything.
Do you like green beans?
So they're
I
easy.
do. I don't eat that all the time.
Make pesto.
How about collards?
Yeah, but you can freeze all of it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. You can do that in the container. Just get like a 5-gallon bucket.
Mhm.
Put your spinach in there, your collards, and let it grow.
Yeah.
Drill a couple holes in the bottom, you're good to go.
It's drainage.
Okay.
You can do it.
I will
I
say
might
too
try.
that it's really not a whole lot of money. Last year when we like officially started, was the highest year for us because we had to physically get the wood for the to make the beds. That I think was the most expensive. And the soil, the actual plants. I did mulch on my side, my flower side. This year though, I want to say I spent $100 to fill both gardens.
Yeah.
And
Seeds are inexpensive.
so, we always get plants.
Yeah.
So that's you go to random places and they have the nice plants. And like I said, I only spent about $100.
Yeah, it's probably what I did.
You can do romaine lettuce and have a salad too. You can
Yeah.
do lettuce, green
do
onions.
a
Those grow
salad
really
garden.
good out there.
Just
Yeah.
the things you like in your salad. Just grow them.
Just
I
cut
tried
it
to
and leave
make
it
lunch
alone.
meat with lettuce.
You don't have any love.
Maybe grow turkey lunch.
I just
I like
I knew
that
people
myself.
Grow it. I don't know
turkeys,
how
but-
you can grow turkeys, but I don't know how you get to that lunch meat.
Turkeys may eat the collards. So.
There's a couple wild turkeys out there. I can run down and try to get you one. I'll take my shoes off. I'm country now. I'll go down there and run it. Sling it over my back. We're going to get it.
So basically, what you're saying, anybody can garden. That's what you're saying. Anybody can garden.
And you might love it. You might love it.
And it might not work out, but just keep going. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to have an all the way green thumb. It can be greenish.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like what you put into it is what you're going to get from it. So if you're going to go start your garden, like I notice I start my garden and like I'm all mad. I'm like, no, I need to back off because my garden's not going to give me anything. So I have to love my garden. I have to go in there nice and calm and I have to
Yes.
relax with it and talk to it. Hey, Betty, how you doing today?
That is true.
Yeah.
That is 100%
Yes.
the truth. You go out there and, you put this positivity into it and it'll give back to you.
Sweet talk your
1,000%.
plants.
You'll get very
I think that
defensive
too.
about your garden too. Like if somebody picks the tomato you've been watching for a week,
Yeah.
or if a bird or something gets your strawberry, or if a squirrel comes along and just annihilates, or a rabbit, you'll be like, my gosh, I don't believe it. I've been watching it. I've been babying it. It's gone.
Oh, there's times I couldn't get up and I had to actually just crawl across the yard to get up. Dang it, I've been down too long.
I like squirrels and bunnies.
Deers are my biggest one.
Yeah, I don't
Always
have
in the
deer,
front yard.
luckily, where I'm at, but squirrels and bunnies, boy, my arch enemies.
So we're going to do the exact opposite. So if you can plant anything in your yard and it grows, no matter
What it is.
what it is, if it's not in this region or not in this climate or whatever, and you can grow it, and it would be successful, what would you want to grow?
I would say, back on my flower kick, hibiscus flowers. I love them, but they are so tropical and they're so hard to take care of and manage that they just die. Like, I love them. I think they're beautiful. They remind me of Hawaii, where I want to go, but they're too tropical for here. It wouldn't last.
How about you, Heather? What do you want to grow?
I would really just say like maybe the same thing, maybe like pineapple and coconut. I wish we could really grow those here, just something. We always get the bland stuff here in Maryland. We're like, man, or even in the United States, just tomatoes. Okay, fine, we'll do those again. Lettuce, but we need something pineapple-ish. Like we could cross it, like those pink pineapples.
Pineapples grow anywhere, even on the West Coast? Do they grow? I know.
I don't know.
No.
I tried. It just turned. They said, "Oh, plant your top," and I tried. It just rotted. And I was like, "Dang it!" Miracle Grow didn't save it.
Miracle Grow saves a lot.
Like a big dome over it.
Yeah, right.
Trees. I would plant trees.
You plant trees.
Yeah, I have a problem. I have a very small yard, and I've still planted 4 trees in the yard, and either outside or inside. And I research them, and I make sure that they're going to fit in my space. I ordered a crabapple from Wisconsin, maybe somewhere out west, and I thought, well, it'll never live. And it's started out as tall as me, and now it's towering over me, and it's only been 2 years.
It's awesome.
And I got an Acer, which is a maple, and I babied it, and it's growing. And I planted dwarf crepe myrtles, which are not really dwarf, I don't know. It's trees for me. Just tree. Like I'll take all the trees, and I live in a townhouse, so it's like calm down on the trees. Yeah.
How about you,
Trees.
Felicia? What are you planting?
Hair.
Yes.
If I could grow hair, like there actually should be a box at my house now with my new hair from Amazon.
So you want to plant some hair seeds?
I want hair. I would love to plant. I have a tote full of hair, and I would love to just plant different types of hair.
Yeah.
That would
I'd be
cool.
happy.
I wonder if we could
There's a
find a
ponytail
plant that would
palm.
give a leaf that
Or
would
that.
work for that.
Well, if you're
Maybe.
planting hair, I'm planting money.
Oh yeah, you're smart.
Yeah, you're
I didn't
smart.
even think about
You're
that.
smart.
I'm not going to ask you to tell me if it works, because I know you probably wouldn't, because I wouldn't tell anybody if it worked if I grew money. But I might have to copy you and take that idea.
Well, I didn't know we were talking about things that we couldn't.
Oh, I would. I mean, if I could just have an unlimited amount.
I mean, I
Hair
could
at
maybe
my
grow
disposal.
the things that I could make the money with,
Oh.
like cotton and like. Which is funny if you think about it. You grow the things and then you turn it into money to buy the things to grow the
Yeah.
things. So it's a big circle.
So I'm not a gardener, so I don't have those answers. I don't have like a thing. Hair.
Hair.
That would be pretty cool though.
Do you have a favorite fruit that you wish you could grow?
I like plums.
Plum trees.
I
I
like
think you can
plums.
grow plums around here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep, I do. I like plums a lot. They have to be sweet
Yeah.
and soft. And I also like pears, but they have to be soft and juicy.
I haven't had a pear in years.
See, now you want to go and buy pear.
Now I want to eat a pear. I just haven't had
Now I
one
got to
in
make
so long.
japchae, dang it.
Is there just anything else you want to add and want our listeners to know about gardening?
Just do it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. It gives you something.
It's trial and error.
do. Yeah.
You'll learn. And you'll remember.
Yep.
Where's the best
Yeah,
place to
we'll
buy
remember.
seeds? Where can you buy seeds?
Anywhere.
Not in America. Sorry.
That's true. You can't buy them elsewhere.
Well, I mean, I think that you can, right? But I just feel like the seeds in America just like don't grow. Like they don't want us to grow what we want to grow. You know, I think that they like to limit people on what we can and cannot have. And like, I think that's the reason why when I go to the store, if I buy a tomato, why I can't scoop out the seeds and turn that into a tomato plant, because they've killed the seeds. And I think,
That's a good point.
you know, that's sad, you know?
Genetically modified.
Yeah.
So where do you buy seeds from?
Tractor Supply.
And a disclaimer: Tractor Supply is not
Not
paying us to
affiliated.
say this. Okay, your hand.
I will say though,
Lowe's is not paying us to say this.
local. I always try to find my plants local.
I do that too. For
As
my Amish.
much of the Amish grown plants as I can get, I will. Produce stands, things like that. But again, Lowe's is not paying us for this, but I do go to Lowe's for, the soil and things like that. But
Have you tried the nursery in Leonardtown?
I think they're completely overpriced.
I think they just had a deal too.
I don't
They're
know.
not paying us either, but
They're not paying
I tomato plants are like $2.99, and I want an air start again.
Money so we can pay up all these
We need them to sponsor us. We can say, go there to buy your seeds.
If you get on TikTok, I think they send you samples. So maybe if you do that, maybe they'll send you
Yeah.
samples.
I'll throw it out there. The library has native seeds. It's a big push now to plant as native as you possibly can. And get
I
rid of
heard
all the
that.
invasives. I have some natives in my yard, and I will say, if it's a native, it's going to grow. I don't think there's too much of a limit, but there's a lot of gardening that's done through the library to show you how. And we did winter starts where we used the milk jugs and we put something out in November, December timeframe. And because it's native, it adapts. You don't have to harden it off. It's just outside. And it worked. Mine grew. So you can get your native seeds and you try to look for what's native, because the invasives are taken over, and get rid of the natives. And then it turns into, it's the best food for your birds, or it's the best thing for you, and it's good for the environment. It's just, it's a big thing.
When I bought my house, I found old pictures of it on the inside, and they loved ivy. It was all over painted. It was painted all over the walls.
Oh wow!
And I think they decided around the pond they were going to plant some ivy.
Oh,
It
I don't
is
like ivy.
everywhere.
It's
You cannot-
impressive.
and then you can't uproot it.
Yeah, it's
You would
very
think it's like,
invasive.
oh, you could just pull it out. It like
It
plants
has
itself in,
rhizomes, probably.
and it's going up
Mhm.
my trees, and
Mhm.
it's killing everything.
Yeah.
It's just I want to just get a blowtorch and just kill it
Some
all.
things have rhizomes, and even if you pull it out, you haven't gotten the root because the rhizomes are still there.
You have to go so deep and
Yeah,
straight
that's
on.
right. Yeah. Or or use a really harsh chemical, and I don't use any chemicals.
Yeah.
Another good place to get some flowers if you're looking is like if you go to like your local Caribbean markets, or there's this place in Virginia called H Mart, which is like it's different international foods, and they in the back, both of those actually have a gardening section to where you can go get your stuff too. So it's a little bit pricey because it's more on the organic side, but if you want to go there, you can get that too. So I didn't know that until I just learned.
Wow, I'm learning all kinds of things today.
Growing hair.
Yes, we're gonna grow hair.
I mean, that could be a really good business
It
stuff.
could.
I mean, if you can figure it out, absolutely.
I mean, it wouldn't be human hair; it'd be synthetic. But
I mean, but still.
yeah, because I don't wear. Well, I wear synthetic, so.
What do
A
we
lot
get-
of people would
we
say
don't
like-
like bugs. Silk, don't they make silk? Moms make silk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Silk hair.
Yeah.
Silk
Yeah.
hair.
Ooh,
There
Very
you go.
different.
You're onto something.
Silk
Yeah,
hair.
then you gotta cook the bugs and you boil them.
Just hire somebody that's going to do that for you.
Yeah, I hire
When
someone.
we're famous and
When
we
we're
make lots
famous,
of money,
and then
we have to repay our lawyers for
And then
all
when
the
Jimmy
lawsuits.
Fallon puts our name out there,
And whatever's left over, you can buy silk bills and start making silk.
Yeah.
wow, this has been fun. I don't have your updated list on.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I do have like one more question.
Okay.
Growing season is over, so what do you guys do then?
I feed the birds year round, so I always have something like that going on.
So you don't like sit there and cry that you're
No.
Okay.
I have 13 bird feeders. So.
Oh, okay.
I will say it's easier to catch up on my shows, and I paint. I do like paint by numbers. I'm not fooling you. I'm not that talented, so I have to do paint by numbers. So,
So talented, don't say that.
but yeah, you just
Watching
you
murder
find
mysteries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like back to my murder mystery episode.
You can fall plant too for bulbs and things like that if you want to do.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
can
there are some fall things like garlic and stuff
Right.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't stop though. I just do it in a greenhouse. I just
Yeah.
move. where
I'm
at.
going to do
Oh,
more.
so it's like, this is all year round.
I did move.
Yeah, I'm just going to do more than winter ones. Like that.
Yeah.
Do the natives and let them. Yeah. My yard
That's
is
a great
very
idea.
small though, so I'm running.
They're not graphing out next year's garden.
Yeah.
By
Little calendar, so many days until I can plant my
Yeah.
roots.
No.
Wow. Well, this has
learned
been
a lot
fun.
today.
I learned a whole lot,
Yes.
especially about the cauliflower. Or was
Well,
it cabbage?
mine was the
Cauliflower.
the tea.
Oh yeah,
I want to learn about that.
and then you two need to get together about the daisies.
Yes.
Yeah, because my daisies are so sad. I'm sad about my daisies.
Wow.
But our herbs are different though. That me and Sophia grow like some. She put me on this stuff called jackass bitters. I know the name sounds crazy, right? But it looks just like parsley. But you actually take that, and once it grows, you dry it out. Just leave it on the counter for about a week, and then you put it in a bottle of Bacardi. And anytime you get sick, you actually take a shot of this. And I'm telling you what, it has cleared everything out of my system.
No way.
You need to bottle that up.
I even give it to my kids.
You need to bottle that up
Shot ain't gonna
and,
hurt them, but if they're sick,
and,
I'll give them.
and
I need
sell it.
some.
Yeah,
No, and I mean you're right about that. Like if they are truly that sick, like
yeah.
Do you have anything for inflammation?
So
Oh, wait. Hold up on this. I feel
what are
like
you talking about?
we need to wait until the next episode.
Oh,
that
yes.
could be
That could be a whole
That could
new
be a whole
thing.
new-
Could be.
right.
yeah.
Yeah, healing
Yeah.
with Heather.
Healing.
Oh!
What side of my garden are we gonna go on? on here now because
You and Sophia are coming over. You're gonna record.
Like I said, me and Sophia have two different gardens. Which one are we gonna go with? We're just saying, you guys.
I mean, we can talk about it.
We can talk about it.
Upcoming Healing with Heather. That'll be our next one because I have an inflammation problem.
I have so much to say right now. I'm trying to bite my tongue.
Hold it.
You gotta hold it.
Hold it. Until next
So on that note, we're gonna end because
Right.
Heather is trying to do a lot of talking. So y'all will have to tune back in for Healing with Heather. But thank you all for listening. I hope you got some great gardening tips. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.